Hello, my friends. Happy weekend, one and all. Oh, look at this lively chat in here already. Little meet and greet. So, man, I have really been starting to enjoy these little sessions. This has kind of become like my weekend unwinding. Like it's what I look forward to as I work throughout the week. Kind of like my one solid excuse to have a drink. Because I don't really I don't do drinking alone. And unless I get the occasional invitation from my neighbor, there's nobody to drink with out here. So it's just you. You digital ghosts keeping me alive. This is really difficult to open a bottle with one hand. Hold on. Let me set you down. There. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to start out with it neat this time. Let's switch to the mixers on the next round. I am... Today, we've got a little bit of a change in the weather. Literally. Summer is kind of in its death throes, I think. And out here, we have a thunderstorm in effect. I'll flip it around so you can see it properly. Oops, wrong button. A little bit of a drizzle, but bearable. Hopefully I got my little windscreen on the mic today, so hopefully you'll be able to hear me out here. It's pretty windy, as usual. But yeah, thunder and lightning, which is pretty scary at the moment because the fire danger is extreme, according to all the signs, and according to the many, many fires burning around the state. And one of the most common causes for it, other than like assholes with fireworks, is lightning strikes, which I saw a couple over there on my way up the driveway today. So fingers crossed that this is not the day that it all falls apart for me. However, I am finally prepared for it if it does happen, because I spent the last God knows how long installing this transfer switch on my breaker panel here. So now if a fire comes through and we lose power and I can't run my hose because it's a well pump, then I just plug in my generator, which is right here, plug it into this and flip this switch, and then the generator will power the whole house. The house. Most importantly, the well, so that I can stand my ground, fight that fire, which is actually not ridiculous around these parts because there's no trees really. So it is entirely possible to defend your house in a wildfire here. That's what all my neighbors did. So I'm a little less paranoid than I have been in the past because I've been here this is my third summer here, and every summer I've lived in this like state of panic, wondering, if a fire comes through, there's just nothing I can do. I'm just screwed. I can't make any attempts to save the house, even from like a pretty minor fire, because I wouldn't have water. So it's been stressing me out big time. And now this is the first summer where I can sort of relax and feel a little bit safer. Yeah, the rain is spitting a little bit. It's like those big fat drops. It's not really a proper downpour, but I'm just getting splattered here and there. So anyway, cheers. My first drink since the last time I did this, I think, which was 2 weekends ago. I skipped last week because I actually had a friend visit me. One of my old-time best friends, Jared, came out, and we did a little music mixing with his stuff. And so he wasn't drinking that weekend. Otherwise, I would have had him join the party, but he didn't seem like he was in the mood for it, so we skipped it. But it's good to be back. And thanks, Jane, for the well wishes of safety. I feel pretty confident now, because if a fire does happen, with all there is around being basically grass, there's really not that much danger. If I have a strong water source, which I do, the hose is very high pressure here, I should be able to defend it. So I'm pretty chill at the moment. Look who else is chill at the moment. Doesn't get any more chill than that. If Bob's not worried, I'm not worried. That's how I look at it. And Bob is pretty much never worried. So, I mean, does that look like a creature who has ever worried once in his entire life? Just lounging on the doorstep next to his little door. He owns the house, as you can see. Hey, Holly, glad you finally made it in. The East Coaster who always complains about my late streams. This could, I just realized I'm extremely hungry right now. Maybe not the best moment to start drinking straight liquor. This could get messy, but I do have a pizza in the oven. That's fair, Kaylin. Drink stream, I mean, that will probably be part of the drink stream. I cannot promise that I have never actually pissed during the stream before. I feel like it must have happened last time because I went for a long time. But if I do, I will promise to mute my mic. So I am working on another video, by the way. My next topic, I realize my next video is going to be my 20th. Not counting my product videos or my shorts, which I don't really count because those aren't a proper episode. But it'll be my 20th episode, as I like to call them, this next one. And that's, considering how big each one is for me, how long it takes me to make them, it feels significant. So I'm going to take the opportunity to make a little showcase of kind of what this place is all about, what I'm trying to do out here, and corresponding with this design that my friend made me. I think I talked about this in my last stream. He calls them sigils, though I don't think they follow any particular magical tradition. But they are essentially the same idea as a magical sigil, like a design that kind of embodies your intentions for something. And in my case, I had him design something that embodied the Outpost intentions, and by extension, kind of my whole life. So I want to make the plan is to take this design that he made. See this big blank spot on the wall here, where any normal house would have a window. Not me. I'm gonna have a disturbing, esoteric, arcane rune on the wall there. So I'm gonna paint that, and I'll have a video showing that process and kind of my friend's process of making the design and what all the symbolism is and everything. Oh, thanks, Holly. You know, I mean, I could count those, but I feel like the product stuff, it's like I'm trying to, I'm not going to do anything quite like that again. I think I decided that's too commercial for what I'm trying to do here. What I've been doing is like making videos about a product and then trying to, like, use that as an excuse to go on an adventure and like do stuff and make the video about that. But I've still been kind of framing the video as like it's all about waterproof socks or something. And I've realized like that's just not a good use of my time and energy. I don't, it's not, I'm not even getting paid for those things. It's like literally I get a free pair of socks. And I've been doing them kind of like future focused, thinking if I keep doing these, I kind of get better at making a product review entertaining. Maybe it will lead to something profitable. But I realize like that's not ever going to be what this is all about. I'm not going to make my living off of like very minor product deals, at least not like in the next decade. So I think when I do, if I get more offers like that, I'm just going to kind of weave them into other videos. Maybe there'll be kind of like a prompt for me to go out and start questing. And I'll just kind of, casually use the product during the video, product placement rather than doing a whole thing about the product. So that way they'll count as, proper episodes. Thanks, Jane. I'm not sure if you're being sarcastic or ironic or not, but I'll take it. Actual hair is pretty shitty. Facial hair, I have no complaints. So, I got to show you guys something. So you may be wondering, it's been 2 weeks since I streamed last time. And I think, God, I've been doing so much since the last time I streamed, because I think I just started on that electrical project. So in those 2 weeks, what I've done, I did this whole thing like I described, which was a massive project, doing work that I know nothing about, which is extremely scary. Took me about 2 weeks to finish that. And then this week, I have started in earnest on the project that I've been putting off for a long time. Here you can see the the residue of the thing in progress. Boom! Outdoor shower. It's happening. I think I showed off the actual shower itself in a glimpse on some of my other platforms, but I am now building the enclosure for it, because true, there is nobody to see me out here yet, but really what the shower frame is about is more like blocking wind rather than privacy. Right now there's no privacy to be needed, so I stand in here and look out through here, and there's nothing. Eventually though, I'll have a house down there, and a guest or something will be staying up here, so I do need to have an optional shelter here. But for the moment, right now, it's just about blocking the wind, because even when it's really hot in the summer, it is surprising how frigid it gets when you're standing here and there's like a blasting north wind coming through, and you're just fully exposed and wet. It gets pretty uncomfortable. So this is all going to be enclosed. I've got one of the panels here, the leftover T111 from my siding job, and I'm going to put one of these on each wall, and then a door that will be removed for most of the summer, and then I'll put it on in the winter to give me a shelter option. So pretty excited about that. I actually have a drain that I put in the ground when I first got here and the shed first came out. It's the same drain line that runs to my sink, which goes through here and then joins up with that and out into my little rusty barrel pseudo septic tank there. And yeah, so like it's gonna be pretty legit. It hooks up to my water heater. These are supposedly freeze proof. When you turn them off, the water drains back out. So I will be attempting to shower in the winter out here. I'll be sure to share the saga of that adventure and discomfort. And yeah, Laura asked where I'm located. Beautiful indeed, right? This is Washington. This is the Washington that nobody talks about. The wide open West. This is like where the old West happened. I mean, people always talk about, Arizona or New Mexico or Texas for the cowboy days, but a lot of that was going on in Washington too. You can really see it out there. Like that's the Sage Hills. I mean, I'm on the Sage Hills. So yeah, Central Washington is where I am. Brewster is the nearest town. Lake Chelan is the nearest town anyone's ever heard of. Yeah, Kaylin, I don't know if I answered your question already, but the water drains, there's a barrel buried in the ground under these bushes. You can't really see it. Wait, maybe you can't. No, that's a rock. Never mind. It's under there somewhere. I'm trying to kill this. This is tumbleweeds right here. Speaking of cowboys, this horrible, relentless brush is, I think it's called Russian thistle. And it is just so aggressive. I just chopped all this to the ground like 2 weeks ago, and it's already back. I'm trying to find the appropriate poison to kill it because it is relentless. It's completely taken over my driveway as well. And then, so it'll die, and then next spring it'll kind of dry up and curl up into tumbleweed balls and roll away. And it's incredibly aggressive, and it'll just take over my whole place. So I have to kill it. It's even on the ground here. It's just everywhere. It's not the water, actually, you would think, but it's just anywhere there's disturbed earth, it springs up. It doesn't take root in the natural landscape. So I don't know how long it will take to get this equilibrium to establish itself on my disturbed ground, but like everything that's close to the driveway and the earth that's been dug up, this stuff springs into it. Here's my gravel that I'm going to pour inside here, and it'll be my nice little foot massage shower. Yeah, I'm glad you all feel my pain with the tumbleweeds. Sorry, Laura, not a lot of sunshine today, but at least a lot of sky. It's not the brightest, prettiest sky. Cheryl asked how long it'll take to finish my shower. I'm pretty close. Tomorrow, maybe Monday, I'm guessing. Assuming I don't drink too much today. I just have to put, I have to do another one of these panels, paint both sides of it, sand it, etc. And then I just got another load of lumber here. This is how I operate. This is my truck. I've hauled so much stuff, so much truck stuff in this little Subaru. Yeah, so I have to put up a couple more pieces inside, which also have to be, sanded and oiled, and the oil takes 24 hours to dry. So it's a slow process because of all the drying, and I had to wait, a day for the concrete to set, and just a lot of waiting for setting and drying. But yeah, put a couple big 4x4s in these spaces, which I'll then do the plywood to. And then I'm going to put another row of 4x4s in the middle here, which is going to be partly to brace the plywood against, but also it'll be my shelf for the shampoo and such. Right now it's the electrical row is my shelf. And yeah, then I've got to build the door. And yeah, pretty soon. Bet Heard a Game, what's up? Bet Heard a Game, also known as Leah, is a friend of mine who donated a gaming PC to me recently. The secondhand, hand-me-down PC, because she's moved up to greater and greater things in life. And someday soon, I have some repairing that needs doing. Some components are missing. But when I figure out what those components are and then replace them, I will be able to join the gaming world once again. So looking forward to that for those of you who are interested in that kind of thing. Maybe it may be even possible for me to stream it sometime. So looking forward to that. Yeah, Jane, there won't be any cleaning of that shower. Uh, I don't imagine it getting dirty. I mean, the gravel, I'm not really sure what will happen to the gravel. I think that maybe eventually that could get gross. But maybe nature just kind of takes care of it. I don't know. I've seen a lot of outdoor showers that are floored with gravel, and I've never heard anybody talk about, you know, emptying out the gravel or cleaning it. Maybe it just gets rinsed off by the shower itself. But yeah. Bet Here to Game asked about the trailer. That trailer is mine. It was left here by the original owners. It is not really habitable, which is why I moved into it briefly when I first got the land. It's not focusing. And it's just like, it's infested with every kind of vermin, and the whole thing is just kind of falling apart. None of the stuff works, like none of the plumbing or the electrical or gas or anything works. So it's basically a glorified tent. And yeah, I don't know. I could try to show you. I don't know if I can stray that far from the Wi-Fi. I might lose the signal, but I'll go down there, see what I can find. The thing is, it's deceptive. Like when I walk in here, you're probably gonna think, oh, that doesn't look that bad. Why doesn't he just live in there? But it's in the details. Like all the paneling is kind of rotten and peeling, and so it's just like nasty old 1960s chemicals are like floating down into your food all the time. There's just dust and mold, and like it's hard to really portray why you can't be in here. What I've been using it for is a kind of like a storage shed, really like a shop. Here's the remnants of when Bob's former home. When I first brought Bob out here, I didn't have, I was still working on the shed. So like I couldn't have him staying in there because it was, a construction zone. So I built like basically a zoo enclosure right here. And I had to see that pile of chicken wire there. I actually set up fence posts all around this little plateau and completely enclosed it, including the top. And Bob and his former playmate, Grendel, lived in this trailer. And I would just like come down and visit them every day. It was a weird situation, but I just couldn't figure out, there was just nowhere else for them to be safe. And I needed to get them out of my mom's house where they'd been staying during the transition. So they lived here. Man, you can still see the remnants. There's all the stakes for the fence posts. It was quite a sight. It was like like a zoo, like a bird enclosure at a zoo. But yeah, I built this little hangout spot for them. Bob still uses this to this day. He loves coming down here and sitting on this little seat and just watching the world. And then I built this ramp after I tore the enclosure down. Actually, no, that ramp used to go in the window here. Oh, speak of the devil. You gonna take us on a tour, Bob? I just feel this soft brush against my leg. But yeah, this used to be their ramp in and out of the trailer. I had this window open, and they would climb up and go inside, and it actually worked pretty well. Right, Bob? He hated it. Both of them hated it because they just wanted to be with me. It was quite flattering, honestly. It was kind of striking and flattering because they had, everything a cat could want. Their own apartment, their own yard, their own tree to climb in. Like, it was a cat paradise. But they would just sit there and cry at the fence all day because they just wanted to be with me. And it was really heartbreaking. It was horrible couple of months. I can't remember how long that lasted. But I had to wait until I finished the interior of the shed. At least, enough that we could live in there. So, yeah, I think Bob wants to take the tour, too. He doesn't get to go inside very often. Tour, Bob. House tour. So yeah, this is my alternate workshop here. I stained some boards. Um, yeah, I don't know if it'll work. You might lose me because I'm off the Wi-Fi now. Am I gone for everybody? I should probably return. Maybe you can catch a glimpse. I'll get back on the Wi-Fi though. Okay. Guess I leave Bob in there for a while. I'll go back to my router. Like that instruction. Go back to your router. I don't belong in the outside world. I have to be in my router zone. That's the only place that I can live. Come on, get back on. Never really. What is going on? It's like, I don't know, I'm back. I think I'm back. It says I'm on my Wi-Fi, but there it is. Okay, now I should be back, right? I'm a bit off. Well, that's nothing new. That's weird that it seems to vary from person to person. You think it, if it's on my end, that it would be consistent. Anyway, I tried. Did you get a glimpse of inside the trailer? I had a feeling I'd probably lose you. But that is, I actually I want to salvage the trailer, but it's a huge project. It's like it can be done. I think it can be restored to not maybe functional status, but usable status anyway. Oh, fuck. I burnt my pizza. Damn it. I guess, well, it's still edible. Much like the trailer, it can be salvaged. I don't want to show you what kind of pizza it is, but I am going to. I know we're going to get some angry comments here. Very controversial, very polarizing pizza. But it's what they had at grocery outlet. So sue me. I'm a gross out aficionado, and if they're selling it, I'm buying it, whether it's my favorite or not. I do enjoy pineapple pizza. It's kind of like a novelty for me. It's not my go-to, but it's a nice change of pace. I see there's some fans in the chat here. Surprisingly, I only hear negative opinions about pineapple. But there's no way I'm gonna be able to cut and eat that while holding this thing, so I guess I'll just keep it in there for now, and keep drinking on an empty stomach. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, that's not it. Wyatt asked what I'm drinking, and the answer is Cazadores Reposado tequila. Once again, this is all I've been drinking in these streams because it's all I have at the moment. I do have some vodka back there, actually. Here's my my very tragic little bar. I got these 2 bottles. I don't know why I have 2 of this. Must have been on sale or something, or maybe just an accident. And then a little leftover Tito's, and then I've got my septic tank clearer. Very important not to accidentally mix these up. That's not a mixer. It's not a seasoning. Do not pour that in your drink. So I'm going to convert my tequila now into a margarita. Septic cocktail, exactly. What are you drinking is the question, Wyatt. Somebody said at the beginning of the chat, I can't remember who it was. Somebody said they were already drunk. Are you still in here, whoever that was? And how drunk are you now? Really hard to do all this stuff with one hand. Speaking of which, somebody, I don't know if it was somebody from this chat, somebody sent me, you remember last time I streamed how I was talking about the Bob camera, the cat collar camera, and I was thinking about doing like a fundraiser to sponsor a Bob cam. I was going to do that this week, actually, and checked my P.O. box yesterday, which, by the way, that's how I get mail. If anybody ever wants to send me anything, the address is on my website, and it's not because I am afraid of you guys. I would probably put my real address if I had one, but it may surprise you to learn that the U.S. Postal Service does not drive up here, so I have to get mail at the P.O. box. And yeah, so somebody sent me a sweet cat cam. Or really, it's not just a cat cam. It's like a pseudo GoPro kind of thing. I don't know. I haven't really investigated it yet. I just picked it up yesterday. But whoever that was, all they said was a friend from Western Washington, which could be a lot of people because that's basically everybody I know in the real world. And so I don't know if anybody feels like outing themselves, but whoever it was, if you're watching this, thank you. I'm so excited to crack into that because not only can I attach it to Bob's collar and go and watch his adventures, but I can attach it to my hat and go on my own adventures and have like a first-person POV kind of footage, which would be very useful for the types of videos I want to make in the future. I'm trying to clear off a little spot, get all the tools out of the way so I can have a place to sip my margarita. Excuse me a moment. All right. I think the worst of the storm has passed. In fact, I think the worst of it is out here. Look at that. Dramatic indeed. That's okay. Yeah, do the fundraiser anyway. I'm not a scammer, okay? I'm not here to exploit anybody. I only even would do a fundraiser for something that you want that I don't want to pay for. Because everybody wants to know what Bob's life on the ground looks like. And I do too, but I wasn't going to pay $80 to find out. And now we're going to find out. This thing probably was way more than $80. I'm actually kind of curious what this cost. It has like, well, I'll get into that another time. But yeah, thank you again, whoever it was. Cheers. I should probably get like an actual cocktail glass, right? This giant water glass where I take a drink and completely disappear. I have no highball. I have no shot glasses. Okay, we doing the tattoo show? Is it tattoo time? All right, so I told you what the fingers were. I think 2 different streams, I told you each hand. What do we want to know about today? Take your pick. Back of hands, or I don't even know how you describe. Like there's rings all up and down both arms. So like, this is my masterpiece. I'm not sure how you would vote on this, but I'm not talking about all of them. That'd be an hour stream right there, and it's annoying. I'm always kind of like torn with this tattoo stuff because, like, it would be the most cringe thing imaginable for someone to get tattoos, and they'd be like, "I'm just here to tell you all what my tattoos mean." because it's not supposed to be like that. Like they're for myself. They represent something that I want to communicate to the world, but I don't like get them to, you know, make a show of it. If I were to, you know, if someone asks me, I'll tell them, but I don't ever want it to feel like it's me, you know, look, here's what this means, and, you know, here's everybody look at my tattoos. It's not supposed to be like that. So, I mean, so they're all rings. I guess I'll just pick one. Why don't we go in chronological order? So, okay, this one here is the first one that I ever got. I was 18 years old. I was on my way out of religion. Was sort of struggling to hang on to it. And my mom always used to tell me, your intellect is going to lead you astray. Is something I remember she said to me. And I felt that this was true because I was always asking questions about, you know, the religion and, you know, why is it like this? And isn't this a contradiction? And how does this make sense? And blah, blah, blah. And I was like, fuck, it is going to lead me astray. I didn't say fuck back then. I probably said frick. But yeah, so this tattoo was kind of my last attempt to like anchor myself into my faith. It is the last verse of the book of Ecclesiastes, which I'm not going to quote it for you, but if you're familiar with the Bible at all, Ecclesiastes is like the emo book of the Bible. It's the one that's like dark and edgy, and it's like deals with, you know, meaninglessness and existentialism and all the like heavy shit. So of course I'm 18 and I'm like, it's got to be Ecclesiastes. But so like basically to summarize, the whole book is King Solomon, who's, you know, supposed to be the wisest man who ever lived, and he's just like doing shit to try to like find the meaning of life. And because he's, you know, the king, he's rich, he can do whatever he wants. So he's like, and then I tried, you know, pleasures and gold and luxury, and that was meaningless. So I tried, you know, having a harem, and that was meaningless. And I tried, you know, going insane, and that was meaningless. And he just like tries everything, including like child sacrifice. Okay, cool. Like, yeah, man, you gotta like, you know, find yourself, explore your interests. Child sacrifice didn't do it for you? Okay, well, I guess keep trying things. And so, yeah, basically he tries everything, including child sacrifice, and still concludes that it's meaningless. And so at the very end of the book, the last verse is like this sort of coda on the whole book. It's like summarizes everything. And it's, I hate to like actually quote it because it just makes me uncomfortable now. But it's essentially like, we've tried everything, we've heard it all. Here's my conclusion, you know, fear God and keep his commandments. And it's getting really windy out here. I don't know if you can still hear me. I'm going to step into shelter. So I was like, well, okay, Solomon is, you know, the magically, you know, super intelligent Reed Richards of the Bible, right? He's like the intellect god. And he did all this stuff and tried everything. And that was his conclusion, so good enough for me, you know? If it was good enough for Solomon, it's good enough for me. So I'm like, I'm going to get this tattooed on me as a reminder that, like, wherever I go, whatever I try and experiment with, this is still, like, what it comes back to. So I got this tattoo of this Bible verse at 18 years old. And I can't remember how long it took, but not a whole lot longer after that. I did a little more research on, you know, the history of the Bible, which is like this weirdly forbidden subject for Christians. Like, you're not allowed to know that humans made it, that it was like pretty recent, like late medieval times, that people assembled these books and decided which ones were real or not and edited them. And apparently that verse that at the end of the book was not even in the original scriptures. It was not written by Solomon. It was like an editorial like add-on by like late era editors who were like, man, this Ecclesiastes thing is kind of a downer. Like, it's just, it's depressing, right? This doesn't fit with the uplifting religion we're trying to create. So we'll go ahead and just like add on a little happy ending to the book of Ecclesiastes. So that's literally what happened. Like, these guys, I don't know if they like wrote it themselves or if they found a verse from another book somewhere else that was unrelated to what Solomon wrote, but they tacked on this verse that is sort of like the happy ending of Ecclesiastes, because in the actual original book there was no conclusion. He was just like, everything's meaningless, the end. And so yeah, I found out that this verse was like, it was very, it felt very appropriate for like my experience with leaving that faith, because I'm like, wow, even the verse that like I held on to as like my last handhold on belief, even that was fake. Even that was like added on basically by pastors to try to like keep people happy. I was like, wow, okay, that's intense. And I thought about covering it up after I discovered that, and after I kind of left the church in general. And I decided that wasn't going to be my approach to tattoos. I was just going to keep adding and never subtract, because it's kind of like an archive, So the second one I got, which is the ring right next to it, is the first sentence or something, first line from Plato's allegory of the cave from Plato's Republic, which is essentially saying, like, it's the one about the people in the cave looking at the shadows of reality and thinking that that's real. And it, my interpretation of it is essentially we have no idea what anything means because we can't see everything. So we're just doing the best we can with the little glimpses that we get. And that was my second one. So I decided to, like, rather than cover it up, I was just going to contradict it and kind of continue to add complexity and, contrast and, sometimes contradiction to the things that I gotten earlier in life. So that's been my approach to all of them. Each one is kind of a different take on those similar themes. So yeah, you got 2 for 1 with that one. Now you know what both of these are. In fact, those were the only ones I had for a long time. I got that at 18, and I think I got that next one like maybe 2 years later. And then I didn't get any for a long time. I think my next one was, can I aim this down enough? I don't know if the chat like covers up the bottom of the screen for you like it does for me. I can only see this tiny little box. But anyway, I'll show you the next one another time. So there you go. Cheers. Let's see what chat I missed while rambling. You so Puchina twice? What does that mean? Somebody translate for me. Don't worry about my pizza, guys. It's out of the oven. It's not burning. It might be getting cold. No, Wyatt, I mean, the Bible is fascinating. Like, I don't have anything against the Bible. What's weird to me is it's like, even back when I was a Christian teenager, I loved mythology. I loved all mythology. I voraciously consumed myths from all cultures. I loved Norse mythology, Greek, ancient Babylonian, Gilgamesh, all stuff like that. I think it's really interesting and informative and, possibly even, nourishing to learn about, the profound beliefs that people have had throughout history. In the same way that, like philosophy is interesting. I read a little bit of philosophy, and it's just interesting to read about, people's strong opinions about, what being human is all about. What I always thought was weird is that it's like religion is the only place in life where you take a text and you elevate it to this different category. Everything else is the same, like literature, mythology, philosophy, like all the different ways, like different kinds of describing ideologies. You read them and you're like, oh, that's interesting. I like this part. I don't know if I like this part. But it's food for thought. It goes into my brain. It mixes around with all my life experiences, and it creates, me. But religious books are this weird other realm that I don't really understand anymore, which is like, it's still just a collection of ideas. It's ideology. It's like here's a good way to live. But for some reason, you're supposed to read that and be like, okay, every word of this is sacred, and I have to believe all of it. And not only do I believe it, but like it is the truth, and I either accept it or not. Which is like, there's nowhere else in life that you do that. Everything else is just like, it's out there. You're looking at it from a distance, and you're like, okay, interesting thoughts. And you just add them to the pot. But religious books are the only ones where you're supposed to be like, do you accept it or not? Do you believe it or not? And there's no in between, which is so weird to me, because like from the outside of religion, that thought makes no sense to me anymore. I used to feel it really strongly, and now I'm just like, what was that all about? Like, why did I think that I had to read this book of ancient stories and like put it in my heart? Why did I have to like accept it as the cosmic truth? Why was I not allowed to just, add it to the pool in my brain? Why did I have to like shape my life around it? Which is so weird to me. So like that's the biggest disconnect I have with religion as opposed to any other belief system, philosophy, even like mysticism. I have a lot of mystical thoughts, esoteric ideas, but I don't like swear by any of them. I'm like, yeah, it would be, I really like the idea that there is like kind of like the Akashic archives, that there is sort of this library of human or conscious experience that all conscious beings are contributing toward, and that every conscious being experiences in life goes into that library and kind of like adds to the collection of knowledge and experience that all living things get to share. I love that idea. I wrote about that idea in the Warm Bodies books. It's like the closest thing I've ever come to a meaning of life. It's like, well, we can all kind of contribute to that library. And, but it's not like I don't believe it, I'm not like preaching, and I'm not going to tell you like, no, there is this library and you need to accept this library or else your life is invalid. That just makes no sense to me. Or like, if you don't believe in this library, you don't get to be part of it, and then you disappear and you get tortured for eternity or whatever. Like that leap is like another step that I don't understand anymore. I'm perfectly happy to hang out in the idea, pondering and just ruminating on the idea without any need to like double down on it and make it my identity. That's the disconnect for me with any religion, and even like extreme spiritual beliefs. I'm just like, maybe maybe this, I don't know. You don't know. None of us know. So it's like, why pretend that we know? It's food for thought for me. So that's the end of my rant. Cheers. I completely zoned out there and did not see any of the chat during that rant, so I'm going to take a moment to skim back through. In fact, I'm going to grab my pizza. It's turning beautiful out here, by the way. I love that as I was talking about religion, this like absolute holy sky unveiled itself. What a setting, right? My God. Okay, I'm gonna grab this pizza and I'm gonna stuff my face while I catch up on the chat. How's that sound? Talk amongst yourselves. Argue about religion while I cut this pizza. In fact, I forgot that I'm holding a tripod. So I'm going to pop this out and adjust this a little bit. And boom. I'm free! I'm free! Now it's a cooking stream. I feel like there was a couple questions that popped up while I was ranting about that. And maybe, like, if anybody said anything that they really want me to respond to while I was checked out, just say it again. And I'll see it now. That'd be great. Isn't that beautiful? It's actually not that charred. I just got this this air fryer recently. It's the first time in 3 years that I had an actual oven that's big enough to cook a pizza, and it has changed my life. Insofar as that I can now eat pizza, and I do. Not as often as I would like. I don't think anybody eats pizza as often as they would like. But I eat a lot more than zero, which is what it was before I had the oven. I was really living like a monkish existence before. There was a lot of things that I told myself, like you don't get to have this yet. You have to wait until you get a house. One of them was an oven that would allow me to cook, actual foods. And the other was a stereo to have music in my house. And I really don't know why I denied myself that one for so long, because I already had the stereo. It was in my storage unit. I have these little these Sonos speakers. Had this little pair of these guys that form, a stereo pair. And they were just in a box in my storage unit, and I was like, I don't have room. I can't possibly have a stereo. It's something that I will save for myself for when, my real life begins. And 2 years went by, and my real life still didn't begin. And I realized, like, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I creating this, like, frustrating video game for myself where I have to meet these checkpoints and milestones in order to have just, like, basic enjoyable experiences, like having music in my life? So that's been, part of my journey lately has been trying to escape from that mentality, that whole, like, and it really, honestly, bringing it back to religion, it comes from that. Christian doctrine is is very centered around, like, self-denial, even to the point of, like, self-loathing. And at least the version of it that I was raised in was. I won't generalize too much because I know there are more positive versions of it. But our version was extremely, it was all about how horrible we are and how sinful and wicked and how everything we want is bad. And so it kind of, like, instilled this idea of, like, the self-flagellation, the whipping. It's been hard to shake that even later in life. Hold on. Someone has an opinion about my shelves. I'm going to derail that entire rant that I was starting up to figure out what that's about. Switch shelves with microwave. Why? Oh, not have anything above it. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. The thing is, the microwave... I swear there was a reason that I did it this way. It looks like the microwave would fit here, actually. I think I put this here because having it way up here scared me a little bit. Like, having to deal with hot foods when I can't really see them. But actually, it doesn't seem to be a problem. See? There's no sign of scorching or anything here. It's not even, like, warped in any way. So I've been using this a lot, so I don't think... It's probably good practice not to have an oven, like, 1 inch away from wood. But if it hasn't done anything yet, I don't see how it could now. So I don't know. I'm gonna leave it alone. If it comes down to it, I have this fire extinguisher is what it is. I also have this, which is a human extinguisher. Um, Before I had that, I had this, which kind of the same idea, but the reality is, there's nobody out here. There's no crime. There's no threats. Nothing bad can ever happen to me. Famous last words, perhaps. But yeah, it's the safest place you can imagine. So I haven't really had to think about repelling humans. More thinking about. Uh-oh, I just got a notification from my Firewatch app. I'm gonna pause for a second to check that app. Pretty sure it's in a different area, but BRB. Okay, we're good. Next fires are plenty far away. You want to test me, Jane? You want to find out what happens when I have to go back to the old me? um, no, honestly, that'd be so weird. I've actually thought about doing something like that for a long time. I've been talking in my Patreon. We have a Discord chat, which is pretty lively, and it's like I check in there every day. I talk to people in this chat, and there's been talk in the chat for a long time of having like a meetup of some kind. And I love the idea. I think I want to do it after I get this place set up a little better. Maybe like after even I get the house built, so there's like a home base to hang out in. Right now, there's really nowhere to be. I've had visitors come out here, and it's just like, well, we're standing here in the driveway, and there's like nowhere to hang out. So, but yeah, one of these days, I want to like invite at least the inner circle. I'm not gonna just put the word out like everyone on YouTube, hey, come to my house. But people on my Patreon who I have already interacted with and trust, that would be cool. I would love to. I would love to meet because I've met a couple of them actually. A few of the patrons have showed up to the meetups that I always do when I travel. Whenever I go somewhere, I I often will go up to a bar and just like put out the word on social media like, hey, I'm at this bar. Like if anyone wants to get the book signed or whatever, meet me there. And I did that in Joshua Tree once, and a couple people, yeah, Future Tense is here. One of the two people who showed up to that is in the chat right now. And I've done that a few times in different cities, and it's always really fun. But I thought like someday I'd like to do it here. Um, that would be the best because, like, look at this place. There's so much space. I mean, I'm on 20 acres, but there's nothing to the left and right of me. So like, you could camp anywhere. I thought about having kind of like a little micro festival kind of event. I don't know what the event would be. Someday I'd like to have a real event and like get bands to come out or something, some sort of event that would gather people here and like set up campgrounds and stuff, like in a really small scale, not anything like a real festival, but a dozen people or something maybe. And I feel like this is kind of the platform to get that started. Like between YouTube and Patreon, I'm kind of meeting people. Oh God, what the hell? Fucking wasp. God damn it. I walked out there with my pizza and I just got swarmed by wasps. So much for that. I gotta finish eating before I go back out there. Okay. They love the meat. That's a good point, Natasha. But I mean, I just don't know if I care. I don't know if I care about my own well-being. I mean, worst case scenario, I call the cops, right? If it got that bad, I could always remove people from the premises. I feel like I could probably deal with it on my own. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of why I wouldn't do this anytime soon. Right now, my property is way too intimate. Someday, if I hold on, I'm trying to set my thing up so I can eat my pizza. Someday, if I have like a proper, facility out here with, well, I already have the outhouse, but yeah, it'd have to be a bit more established. I can't do it at a park because, what am I going to do? Like get a permit from the city? I'm not a corporation. That's why I've always done my meetups in the past at bars, because there's no planning necessary. I just show up and we just hang out. It's just a natural thing. That's kind of my starting point. Maybe I'd do it at the bar, in town here. Although that would probably like make my reputation weird for a long time with the cowboys who hang out at this bar. The hell is this guy? And it's like a gang of people with colorful hair. But yeah, maybe sometime. Mmm. Pizza, am I right? Okay. While I chew, I'm going to browse the chat here and see what I've missed. What's Jane said that's 5K Australian dollars? What's she referring to? Kaylin joined Patreon only for the heads up for drunk streams. Oh, Jane is talking about traveling from Australia, I think. Really, 5K? Good lord. Why is that? That's the most expensive flight I've ever heard of. Are you flying first class? Somebody spelled my name in a really unique way. ISOK. That's a first. Isak. Yeah. The air fryer is I did think about that when I set it in there, and I watched it carefully as I cooked to see if anything was happening. And it really doesn't get all that hot, honestly. Oh, what's this? Somebody would like to join the stream? Sir? You're almost in frame, buddy. A little closer. Come on down. Okay, fine. I'll adjust. Hey, bud. Welcome. Welcome back. I put up all these mirrors. My brother has this like weird business venture where he gets like furniture from offices that shut down and sells them on Facebook. And he gave me all these little mirrors, and I filled my apartment with my whatever you call this, the shed, the cabin. I put them everywhere I could think of to try to amplify the amount of daylight that I get in here, so they're all facing windows, and try to enlarge the space a little bit. 5 inches is ridiculous. Totally unnecessary. All these products, they over exaggerate their safety guidelines because they don't want to be liable. But yeah, I mean, if mine works fine with like 1.5 inches of clearance. I've done it at maximum temperature. This is just a piece of lumber with like flammable coating. I mean, sure, if you have the option, it's good. Probably best practice to not do that, but I don't know. It's working out for me. Apartment. I like it, Badger. Yeah, that's what this is. It's the apart hyphen mint. Apart from everything. I don't know if Bob and Watson would get along. Um, both of them. Well, Watson was pretty solitary. Bob is pretty sociable with other cats. He never had a problem with Grendel. She didn't like him. Watson, I never brought another cat to my house, but he fought a lot. He was always getting in fights with the neighborhood cats. I'm not so sure. That was one of my concerns when I thought about, am I going to take Watson back? Was like, how is that going to work? Cramming them both into this tiny shed. I had a very strong feeling that Watson would not tolerate it. Bob would probably be fine with it. Oh, you're Watson. Okay, that makes sense. I'm. That always trips me out that we had the same name of cats, and not the most common name either. Your Watson is a delight. Big old Maine Coon. I want a Maine Coon so bad. I don't know if I can handle the upkeep with the long hair though. Even Bob, my shed here is just covered in cat hair all the time. Okay, so now I've ingested food. It's time for more drinking. I would like to ingest more food, but it's very time consuming and slow and not entertaining. So, cheers. Let's make another attempt to go outside without the pizza. See if the wasps will allow it. Wyatt, that's a good principle for living. There's always going to be cat hair in my life, but living in a cabin that is 10 by 13 feet, it really gets concentrated. It's like, and he loves to hang out next to my computer. All of my computer gear is just covered in cat hair all the time. It's all of my food, my dishes. It's just a constant problem. One of these days, I will get some different liquors, and we'll do some taste testing. All I've had so far is tequila, which is a favorite of mine, but I feel like the whiskey side of life needs to be represented on this stream soon. Just wasting my time. That's an appropriate username for this chat. Do I still get paid for Warm Body movie? I never no. For the movie, I only got paid once. That's how it works with movie adaptations. You get paid for the purchase of the book, and that's it. There's no residuals or anything. So I got paid for Warm Bodies in, I think, 2012, maybe 11, and that was it. That's all the money I ever got from that movie. You get paid indirectly because you sell more books, and I do still get money from the book once in a while, but it's very small. I mean, it's still selling, which is, I guess, impressive considering it was what, like 12 years ago, I think. I'm doing the math right. Um, but yeah, it's like a bonus. It's not part of my income per se. It's like something that pops up once in a while, and I'm like, oh, sweet, like $1,000. That's I actually don't know when the schedule is. I don't know when it's supposed to come. I don't even know if it's consistent every year. It's like a tip, basically. It's not really an income stream. $1,000 might sound like a lot until you're building shit. That's what I find is that my actual lifestyle is incredibly cheap, but it's the building. Like I went to the store today, right before the stream, that lumber that I showed you that I bought in the car. I thought it was like, oh, it's like 3 boards. It's going to be, 10, $20. And somehow I leave the hardware store $150. Now, where did that come from? And it adds up. Anything house related, whether you're paying someone else to do it or you're doing it yourself, it's so expensive. Insane. So, yeah. $1,000 disappears very quickly into the bucket of DIYing. See you later, future tense. Thanks for stopping in. Well, thanks, Wyatt. I never thought I'd be doing this. When I moved out here. I don't even know if I owned a hammer. I mean, like, I did not build stuff. I had spent the last 10 years or so having money. I had money at the time, so if I needed to do something, I would pay someone to do it. And then all that changed, and I moved out here, and it's like I got to start learning how to do stuff myself. So it still costs a lot, but not nearly as much as if I paid people to do it. It does consume my entire life, which is an unfortunate side effect of saving money. Because, like, this is all I've been doing for the last week and a half, 2 weeks. I have a little moment in the morning where I work on my writing for like an hour or two. But I have to get started as early as possible because it's like 100 degrees out here in the daytime. So the morning is really the only time that I have a chance to work outside without suffering. So yeah, it's strange. Natasha, no, I'm set. I appreciate it. Natasha sent me a little care package a while ago with a variety of foodstuffs and some catnip, and that was fun. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't need staples. I have food. I'm not starving. I'm not like destitute. If anybody ever wants to send me anything, I would say, like, just if it's something that's special, like something unique, something you made, or something that's unique to our online relationship here. That's always cool. Like, receiving that cat collar camera was amazing because it was something that we talked about on this chat, and I wanted to do it, but I was like, I can't really justify spending this money on a cat collar camera. And then somebody sent me one, so I'm like, that's amazing when that happens. Somebody wants me to do something, and so they send me the tools to do it. Another one of my patrons, Jenny, a long time ago, sent me a bunch of gear. Like, all the gear that I record my music on now is recorded on the gear that one of my patrons sent me. And I don't know if I would have bought it if she hadn't sent that to me. So It's kind of like, if there are things that you want to encourage me to do, like record music or make cat videos or whatever it may be, then by all means, send me what it takes to do it. But I don't need, just survival stuff. Like I'm doing fine. I'm not dying. I do all this stuff myself because it's kind of like the big picture. I have to save money where I can. If I had hired someone to build the shower, it'd be like $5,000 or something. I don't even know how much. I might have spent that much on supplies already. I feel like I've gone to Home Depot every single day for as long as I can remember to buy more lumber, more bricks, more tools, more screws, whatever it may be. I don't even dare to tally up how much I've spent on this simple structure. But yeah, generally speaking, I maintain. But yeah, Natasha, I don't know what I need. That's kind of my point. I don't have any like obvious needs. My needs come up every day. Like today, I was building this and I'm like, I need 4x4 fir lumber. And that's what I need today. So I go to the store and I buy it. And it's not something that anybody can really help me with. It just happens in the moment. Most of the things I need happen in the moment. I don't know what I'm going to need next week. It's very rare because I guess the reality is like most of what I'm doing is optional, It's like all I really need is food, but I'm choosing to develop. I'm not rich, Bryant. I assure you. I get by barely. Oh yeah, Home Depot gift cards, that would be the ultimate gift for me. 90% of my monthly expenditure is at Home Depot, honestly. Like I have Rocket Money to track my spending habits. And it's like, you look at this pie chart and it's like utilities, monthly bills, groceries, Home Depot. It's like this huge orange swath because that's what costs money. Like normal life is not expensive. I mean, if you rent for most people's normal life, rent or mortgage is the vast majority of their monthly expense. I don't have that because I live in a shed. My actual monthly expenses, like my groceries and utilities, very manageable. If I weren't trying to expand and develop this property, I wouldn't need very much money. And that's kind of the goal that I'm trying to get toward. I'm trying to achieve a level of basic comfort, and then I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop developing and just chill. And that's the dream. The dream for me, the ultimate ambition, if I succeed in my career, is just to not have to be out here slaving away with hundreds of tools every day. I want to just be able to wake up and write. I want to be able to do simple things and not have to worry about how am I gonna survive the next month. That's my end game goal. If I get a windfall, it's going toward establishing that basic security. And once I achieve that, I'm shutting the valve off as quickly as I can. I'm stop. No more building, no more developing. If I ever expand this property, if I ever live my dream of opening it up to other people, they're going to have to bring their own stuff. You bring your trailer out here. Oh, here come the bees. I'll provide a flat platform to park your trailer on, but I'm not going to build anymore. I've got to stop it. All I really want in life is just the freedom to not worry about surviving. My ambitions are pretty low. Honestly, just wasting my time. I should have bought a bus or a trailer of some kind. If I did this all over again, I would not have done this. I would have bought a fifth wheel. Or possibly, maybe I would have even taken the time to restore that. What I did here, I did because I was desperate, basically. Like, I was living at my mom's house and feeling my soul dying a little more every day. And I had this land, and it was just empty. And I was like, I've got to get out there. I've got to get started. I've got to start my life. And so I thought, well, if I buy a trailer, it's not the long-term goal. I'm gonna end up selling it because it's not what I want to live in. So I'm like, I just don't want to do anything temporary. I didn't want it to invest money in things that I was just gonna get rid of later. I wanted to like start from the ground up and start with not buy anything that wasn't part of the plan. So I thought, well, eventually, I know I need a storage unit because I have all this stuff that's at my mom's house that needs to get out of here because I need to get out of here. And I was like, well, all I know is I need to leave. I need to get on my land. I need to start living my life. So eventually I'm going to need a storage unit. And eventually I'm going to want like a guest house of some kind. So I started with the storage idea. I'm like, I'll buy a shed. And I did that. And then as I was getting the shed built, it occurred to me that like, well, it's really not that much more expensive to enlarge the shed. So like originally it was just this. That was the storage shed. But the way that, the economy of scale works, it's like most of the cost of life is just in the idea itself. So you can buy a shed and it'll cost, 10 units, let's say. Or you can buy a double the size of that shed and it'll cost 12 units. So proportionately, it is just makes way more sense. Like square foot per square foot, it makes a lot of sense to make things a little bigger. So the conclusion I reached was just like, why not make it bigger? Then I can move out of my mom's house. I can start living in the shed. I can start my life. And so I did that just out of desperation. And I guess, the reason why I didn't get a fifth wheel or trailer of some kind is just that I didn't want to waste any resource. I didn't want to buy something and then resell it. I wanted to only buy things that were part of the plan. So yeah, that's why I don't have that. Yes, it is pretty unhinged, Badger. I mean, let's be honest, like 8 out of 10 things that I say, taken out of context, I mean, in context, they're unhinged. Yeah. Especially, I think about that sometimes, like, especially, like, the things the thoughts that I have, the questions, the conundrums that I deal with, I think about, like, I wonder if I am the first New York Times best-selling author in history to ask the question, like, what chemical do I need to pour in this hole so that flies don't fly up my butthole when I take a shit? Because that outhouse is having a fly problem at the moment. And I have had serious issues like, how do I get these flies out of my outhouse? And I feel like it's a pretty good chance that no New York Times best-selling author who has had a #1 box office hit movie adaptation of their book has ever asked that question in history. Maybe like in the 1800s, if there even was a New York Times best-selling list back then. But yeah, things like that hit me once in a while. Just the contrast, like, like what a strange life that I'm living. Yeah. Millionaires Google search bingo. Is that Is that the game where you try to come up with a phrase that's never been said on the internet before? I'm not familiar with this term, but I that was a game that I used to play on myself very often. It's an interesting game. Like you'd be amazed how many things you think have never been said before have actually been said. So Tiny House Off Grid Life suggested that I pour bleach in my outhouse. But I googled this, and everybody said don't ever pour bleach in your outhouse because it will mix with the urine and create chloride gas, which will kill you. So, are you trying to get me killed, Tiny House Off Grid Life? I mean, your username suggests that we're in a competition here. Like, are you trying to are you a fellow off grid streamer trying to remove the competition? Because I don't have room for chloride gas in my life. I have room for pizza and tequila. No chloride gas though. That's not it's not on my grocery list. But so you're telling me that you've done this and you have not died? How often do you put bleach in your outhouse? Be honest with me. All of you, everybody in this chat, tell me the truth. How often do you bleach your outhouse? I need to know what's normal in this world. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Wait. How many people? Wait, I was joking. You don't have an outhouse better to game? What are you talking about? I know you. Do you have a secret cabin somewhere? A murder shack, if you will? Dot. I knew there was something about you. It's a little suspicious. Something suspicious. There's probably a bug in this PC that you gave me. So it's confirmed. Everybody in the chat here has confirmed that Tiny House Off Grid Life is trying to kill me with chloride gas. I thought we were friends, Tiny House Off Grid Life. I thought we were allies. I thought we were in the struggle to... Oh my God, look at this. Look at this glorious sight. The cat god himself. No, don't get off. That was so good. On the pedestal. I love it when he climbs on the bricks. You got a glimpse of it though. I'm happy for that. What's going on, Bob? What do you want to say to the world? Oh, you said it. I agree. Couldn't have said it better myself. The burlesque show. You definitely live in Portland. We don't have pleasures of the flesh where I live. We just have dusty, dry, desolate infinity. There is no... The whole concept of sexiness is 100 miles away from me. There's nothing. Nothing that even hints at sensuality exists in this area. It's quite remarkable, honestly. Like, you can go probably over 100 miles from this spot. Even like the actual city that has a Walmart and a Home Depot and everything, you will not see the slightest sign that sex exists in the world. There's nothing. There's no music venues. Certainly no like strip clubs or burlesque venues. There's like no... That's not part of this reality. Oh no, no saloons, no brothels. Ooh, the thunder's rumbling. Look at this. Way off in the distance there. I think God got angry because I started talking about sexuality. Exactly. Untapped market. Somebody needs to come to the west side of Washington and get the party started. In the Philippines, you clean your front house with detergent and bleach to clean the shit off our pets. I don't understand what you're saying. You put bleach on your pets? What? I'm pretty sure that would not be healthy for them. Oh, of their pets. Okay. That makes more sense. Still, bleach in general. I mean, like, I don't mess with that stuff. Bleach is it's too viral, you know? As soon as you open the bleach can, like you pop the lid off a bleach bottle, instantly somehow all the clothes in your closet are ruined. It just like it will get everywhere. The faintest trace on your fingertips, somehow you will have those orange spots on everything you own. I don't let bleach anywhere near my life. Okay, tiny house, off-grid life. I believe that you're not trying to kill me. I accept it. I appreciate the effort to help. Yeah, I don't have that fancy urine separator technology. That's for rich people. And as we've established, I'm not rich. My urine and shit goes in the same hole. No separator. Because I keep it real. Unlike you fancy rich people. Look at this. Look at this environment I'm in. I'm gonna flip around here. Natasha, I'm not sure I follow you. I don't want to attract flies. I want to repel flies. Attracting them and then killing them is not helping. I don't want to attract them in the first place. I want to kill the ones that are in there, but I want them to not be in there. That's the ultimate goal. Cheers to you. Cheers to you, everyone. I don't know how many drinks this is now, because I just kind of been topping it off like coffee at a diner. I should probably keep track. Ooh, it's stiff. But luckily, I can report I don't think those lightning strikes have started any fires. I don't see any sign of fire. Bob doesn't seem worried. I think I'm safe. Oh, wind's starting to pick up out here. Starting to knock stuff over. I think everything is secure. This panel is probably going to go flying. I should probably move this. I'll let the wasps have my margarita for a second. There, that should do it. No, you misunderstand. The flies are not in the outhouse. They're in the outhouse. Let me show you. Let me show you what's going on. So here's my beautiful outhouse. So show you in the pit because I have some decency. But yeah, there's no problem in here. In the outhouse, I have lots of fly deterrent. I have sticky pads everywhere. There really are not many flies floating around in here. The problem is that they got inside the pit somehow. And I'm still not sure because I used to not have the seat sealed so they could freely travel in and out of the seat. And my suspicion is that they got in there and laid eggs when that was coming out are just the offspring from those eggs. I'm hoping that's the case. Now, the seat is sealed, and I cannot figure out how any flies could possibly get in there still. Come on out, Bob. Come on. I guess I'm going to have to lock Bob in the outhouse for a while. He wants to explore. Okay. I'll let him stay in there. Wow, the wind's getting in crazy. I'm going to have to go inside. Just don't let me forget that Bob's in the outhouse. Here's the Bob POV. I can't get through. I mean, sure, I'll pour some Dawn in there. I'm already pouring lime in, like powdered lime, which is caustic and is supposed to kill flies. I also wasn't doing that when this problem started, so I was trying to keep it natural as much as possible. I'll tell you what. After this is over, I'm going to go back to this chat and review all of your advice and make some changes accordingly. How about that? My Wi-Fi is Starlink. Just wasting my time. To answer your question, it works pretty damn well for normal internet usage, including apparently like how has this stream been? Is it decent quality? As long as I stay next to the router and don't wander off into the trailer, I think it holds together. Yeah, the wind is pretty rough. I mean, I do what I can. I'll show you what I'm doing for a mic here, if I can, without disconnecting it. So I've got this like huge furry mic. The whole point of it is to stop the wind, but there's no stopping it at a certain point. Yeah, as far as I can tell, the Wi-Fi is good. For some reason, it will not let me stream video games. I can stream on YouTube reasonably well, but not on Twitch. Bob wasn't ready to come out yet, Eva. That's why. I was trying to shut the door and he was still exploring, so I had to lock him in. It happens all the time. He usually likes to go in the tool shed and just like hang out in there for a few hours. You know, funny thing, these mic covers are actually called Dead Cats. That's their industry name. I don't know where that came from, but I don't appreciate it. It's not cool. You know, this is interesting. There's many, many more people watching this stream than there are interacting with it. I wonder what all these lurkers are up to. Shout out to the lurkers. All the people who've been in here who are not interacting, I understand you. This is how I do live streams usually. When I join in, I almost never want to be seen. In fact, it kind of terrifies me. Like I'll open a live stream and I'm like, they better not be able to tell that I'm here, because if they know, I'm gonna freak out. And I almost never comment because like I don't want to be seen. So I understand you, silent viewers. I respect that decision. And this brought them out. The comment brought them out of the woodwork. Now they're popping up. Polishing dice. I love all the strange activities people are doing. I'm just sitting here eating some pizza. I'm not doing anything weird tonight. I'm gonna go release Bob though, because I'll forget. This happens to me a lot. when he gets locked in the tool shed, I'm like, where's my cat? And I'll go searching around everywhere for him. He doesn't complain. Like, he doesn't scratch on the wall. He doesn't meow. He'll just sit there and wait patiently. Where is he? What the hell? Oh, he's already out. Okay. That freaked me out for a second. I didn't see him slip out. And I was like, did he climb inside the pit or something? What are you doing, Bob? He's always trying to get into that hole, though. It wouldn't surprise me. He thinks he wants to go in there, but he really doesn't. He just doesn't know. Yeah, I mean, I can't. I could leave the door open, but it's not. That wouldn't help. The flies in the space are not the problem, and it doesn't stink in there. It's well ventilated. The more sealed I can get it, the better, because bugs love any enclosed space. It doesn't have to be poop centric. A catio? uh, that would be a little redundant, don't you think? Considering that he has the world. There's his catio. I think he's pretty well situated. Right, Bob? Largest catio ever built. If I lived in a city again, I would definitely do that. I would not let him run wild like that if I lived in a urban environment. But yeah, out here it's not an issue. Man, Freshetta frozen pizza. Really underrated. You agree, Bob? I can't figure out what he wants. I already fed him his wet food for the night. What's up, dude? What can I do for you? What is he up to? Caitlin, I actually bought him more treats today. Um, I bought him a pack of those like I don't even know what you call them, like the little packets of gravy, like the squirt pate, like the liquid food treat that they love. Um, so far, my treat for him has just been this little basic little nuggets, which he does enjoy. But I feel like he deserves something fancier. Particularly when he comes in at night, I want to really encourage that habit of him like coming back in after dark because I keep him inside at night. He actually doesn't get treats during the day. His treat time is when he comes in at after dark. When I lock the door, that's when he gets all his treats. That's the only time. And yes, fuck DiGiorno. DiGiorno is so overrated. I don't understand. It's like another one of those cases. I feel like this has replicated in all product categories, where there'll be two things that are very similar. Movies, products, food, whatever. Time and time again, there's two products. They're almost the same. They're released around the same time. One of them is far superior, and it's always the inferior one that becomes popular. That becomes the the household name. I don't understand why that is. I guess it's subjective, of course. I mean, I just like things that most people don't like. But time and time again, that happens, and I'm like, how is it so consistent? DiGiorno is just. I feel like you could almost be objective when it comes to pizza. Like there are just quality sacrifices that that DiGiorno makes that Freshetta doesn't do, and Freshetta is basically almost dead now. Like DiGiorno just beat them in the marketing game, and now it's hard to even find Freshetta pizza. Hence why I'm eating grocery outlet Hawaiian Freshetta. Yeah, that sounds about right, Badger. It's kind of the reason that I basically never buy any product that's celebrity endorsed. Because I'm just like, if they paid a celebrity to endorse the product, either they were that they lacked confidence in the product, or they spent all of their budget on the celebrity instead of making the product good. Either way, it's money spent in a place that doesn't benefit me. Oh, another fire notification. Hang tight. Gotta check this thing to see, make sure that I'm not burning down. Okay, I'm safe, I think. Yeah, Natasha, that's what I need. If there's anything I need, it's legitimate pizza. Pizza is far removed from my world out here. There's no real pizza. The closest thing you can get within 100 miles of where I live is like bowling alley pizza. There's no thin crust to be found anywhere around here. Tragic. On the other hand, great tacos out here. No need for Taco Bell. There are taco trucks on like almost literally every street corner in this area. Infinite Mexican food. You cannot escape Mexican food. It's basically the only food that exists out here is legitimate, authentic Mexican food. And I still love it, honestly. What I really crave and miss is Asian food of any kind, really. But particularly I would love Thai, but I can't even get Chinese out here. There it's like American diner or Mexican taco truck. That's it. That's the food for 100 miles. There's literally no Chinese restaurant. I would kill for a Thai restaurant. Thai food is probably my favorite food type. And there's none. You have to drive an hour and a half to get Thai food. Oh, Bob's up to something. Oh, I thought he was hunting a grasshopper. Mischief. All right, guys. So it's 7 o'clock. I've had a few drinks. A little buzzed. Could be more buzzed though. I realized that this whole time I've been streaming, I'm not really talking about anything. I'm not. There are no topics in this stream. I have not said anything related to any possible reason you might be interested in being in this chat. So we're literally just hanging out. Give me some input. Like, what's going on with y'all? Is anyone else drinking? I only know me and Wyatt. I feel like the rest of you are just smirking from your balcony of sobriety at the fool becoming more foolish by the second. Surely at least Essie is drinking. If I can't rely on her, then I can't rely on anyone. Okay, somebody's drinking wine. We got a few morning people here. That's understandable. I don't know who Elia is. Kalen is referencing an unknown entity here. Wyatt is down. That was clear from the beginning. And from the all caps here. Cheers to that. Gotta love a good all caps drunk message. Yeah, Holly's a new mom. Got babies to deal with. That's understandable. Although I don't know how you resist the temptation after 9 months of not drinking. Coming out of your cage. I guess you still have to kind of keep it together for the whole motherhood thing. God, it's so sour. Why did I have to get this like healthy scratch margarita mix? It's mostly lime juice. It's so sour. It claims to have agave. Not much. A lot of morning people in here. Where is it morning right now? Australia? It's 7 p.m. for me. I feel like Australia is the only place I can think of that's that far removed. I think even, I don't know, China maybe? England is, oh, okay. Yeah. How could I forget so quickly? My when I had my meetings with the English game company, we always had our meetings at 4 p.m. my time. No, 8 a.m. my time, which was, I think, 4 p.m. for them. Yeah, time zones are weird. 3 a.m. That okay, yes. So it's not really morning if it's 3 a.m. 3 a.m. is not is only technically morning. 3 a.m. is deep in the night, unless you're like a graveyard shift worker or something. 3 a.m. is like when you start to hear the birds chirp and you're like, what have I done? That's my recollection of being awake at 3 a.m. Actually, it's not what have I done. That's a negative spin on the feeling. Usually, the few times in my life that I have stayed up through the entire night have been the best nights in my life. And when I hear the birds chirp, it's like, hell yes. I have crossed the threshold. I have lived. So, whoever is up at 3 a.m. right now, cheers to that. I'm up at 7 p.m. and I'm already half drunk. No, I've never tried Ligma, sports lad. What's Ligma? Is that related to uh shit, what's the other one? I can't I can't remember I can't what's Dick for? There's a few of those classic sophisticated jokes. 3 a.m. jokes for sure. Wow, I'm concerned about how many people did not see that coming. I played into it on purpose. So Eastern time, that's your 10 p.m. You're still in the thick of it. It's Saturday night. You could reasonably be outside doing things. Well, I hear that mysterious noise outside. Wow, Tiny House walked right into it. Say it again. Got to do it again. Drank yourself sober. What does that mean? Oh, I thought Bob was up to mischief out there, but he's incredibly non-mischief right now. What's up, dude? Let's hang out. This guy. Ultimate cuddle monster right here. Trying to keep him in frame. Come here, bud. I know why you're all here. I know the real reason. I'm just trying to pander to my audience. There he goes. What critters are in the area? Uh, Most of the critters out here are non-mammalian. Ton of birds and bugs. This is really birds and bugs and snake country. As far as mammals go, um, rodents, of course. Coyotes. There's coyotes out there, out in the distance. You hear them howling out there. Don't worry, Bob keeps his distance. We've never had any close encounters with those guys. They don't come anywhere near my property. I just hear them howling off in the distance. I've seen a couple bears, black bears. Two times, different occasions. I saw bears, but never close to my property. Well, actually, one of them was close. One of them was right over there. When I first moved here, I had my outhouse pit over there, and I almost walked into a black bear in the morning while heading to the shithole, but he ran off. We've got there are mountain lions out here. I've never encountered one, but they've showed up on some people's trail cams. Mountain lions are probably my biggest fear, honestly. They are scarier than black bears, because they, like humans, are on the menu for a mountain lion. They don't usually attack us, but they might. And you just never really know. Like if they're in the mood for it, they'll do it. So I worry about that a little bit. Certain areas of the trail that I walk on, I keep my my bear spray handy. Put my phone down, stop taking pictures of stuff, and get alert for a minute. That's about it as far as I know is from mammals. All the other uh, kingdoms are phyla. What's the term for? Is it family or phylum? Anyway, mammals versus birds, etc. Yeah, Luke. All these people are like, "Oh, it's too early. Or it's too late for me to drink." And then Luke comes bursting in the saloon doors. I'm drunk as hell. That's what I'm waiting for. There's got to be somebody, right? I mean, look at Bob. He's passed out already. He's just blacked out on the ground, writhing around on the ground. He has to be wasted for that. Meanwhile, behind me is the apocalyptic sun. End of the world. It's about to go behind the cloud. You know, funny thing I've noticed about these wildfire sunsets is they don't really show up properly on camera. Like when I look at that on camera, it's kind of just a white spot. But but in reality, it's this eerie, like metallic red, like impossible alien color. I'm just staring right at it. I probably shouldn't. A glimpse of hope, Aerospear? Tell me more about this glimpse of hope. I don't often give people hope with anything I do these days. I mean, this is pretty hopeful. At least one person is enjoying life. I wonder if you guys can hear his purrs. He's rumbling hard right now. Yeah, Perseid meteors. I don't think I'm gonna see it tonight if that's happening. It always seems to work out like this. Whenever there's a meteor shower, it's the one day in like 3 months that there was clouds. It's been clear skies every single day for as long as I can remember. Today's the first day with clouds, and boom, meteor shower every time. Well, thanks, Luke. I'm glad. I guess my channel is, I it does veer towards positive attitudes overall. Um, as much as it does cover the struggle, it is. I don't know. I've never really thought of myself as an optimistic person. Um, most of my life, my people close to me think of me as they used to think of me as kind of a dark person. But oddly, I feel like I have kind of since moving out here, I have kind of embraced this sort of. I've heard it described as positive nihilism, where I guess it's kind of like there's that meme, the bus meme with the two guys looking out the different windows of the bus. One of them's looking at the rock wall and is like depressed, and the other one's looking out the other side at the sunset and is happy. And I've seen a version of that meme where it's like the guy looking at the rock wall is like nothing matters, depression, dark. And then the other guy's looking out the other window at the sunrise and he's happy and he's smiling. He's like, nothing matters. And that's kind of the philosophy that I've stumbled into lately in life. Uh, is like, nothing really matters. And that's kind of freeing, liberating. And even though, like, on a superficial level, my life is not that great in some ways. Um, I'm living on my own terms and slowly, one step at a time, making it better and better. And there's something very invigorating about that. And it's all, I guess, like, ultimately, it's just the knowledge that what I'm doing is all entirely my choice. Like, I chose to move out here. I chose to give up all the comforts and the urban life and to, do something really challenging. And I always take a lot of comfort from the thought that, like, if at any time I decide that I'm done, like, the gutter is always available for me, you know? Anytime I want to, I'm like, fuck it. Like, I live in the gutter now. I'll just, go all the way to the bottom. It doesn't really sound that bad to me. Like, when I first got out here, that's basically what it was. I mean, I was living out here with nothing. Like, just empty land and a tent and a bucket to shit in. And yeah, like, I had money to buy food, which is, a step up above like a truly homeless person. But I experienced a long stretch of time where I really didn't have any modern comforts other than like basic sustenance. And I've really taken a lot of value from that experience, because it's like every time I get a modern comfort added to my life, I feel it in a way that I never did before. Like, the shower that I'm working on right now, having having a functional shower that doesn't blow out at the slightest gust of wind feels like the ultimate luxury to me now. Every time I add like a new technology tier to my setup out here, I feel like I have, discovered fire for the first time, and I'm like, and it's really changed my perspective on life, because all the things you take for granted, starting from scratch, starting from zero, and working your way back toward that one step at a time, it just makes everything glow in a way that it never did before. So that it's kind of created a weird kind of optimism for me, like a strange positivity. Even though I like to crack jokes about the shit bucket and all the strange circumstances out here, um, I say it all with a grain of salt and a wink and a smile, because in reality, actually, I feel pretty good about everything that's going on. Thank you, Romina. Just popping in the chat without a word and dropping tips. Romina is an old school online friend of mine. We've never met, but we go way back, like deep into the past. God, I don't remember where it started, like MySpace maybe? I don't know if you were all the way back on like my Burning Building blog, but deep in the past. And yeah, we kind of have orbited each other. We've tried to help each other out. We're both kind of in the YouTube world, making videos and trying to find our place. I just like chilling on the ground with Bob. This is like the most comfortable place to be. Just, sprawled in my Crocs. On the ground in the apocalyptic sunset. Twilight Zone brought us together. Remind me of how that went down. Is it backwards for you? I assume it's the same as what I'm seeing, but that says Bob. If anybody can't read backwards, come here, bud. It's cuddle time. Flump. I love Bob's flumps. He does it so dramatically. So, I remember talking Tina. One of the creepiest episodes of the Twilight Zone. Hey, there's nothing unwholesome about drinking, Natasha. Drinking is a human experience as old as humanity. All due respect to people who don't drink for whatever various reasons, but I'm getting real tired of people demonizing it. If you're going to demonize drinking, you got to demonize a lot of elements of what life is about for people. And I'm not down with that. I know, you're just kidding. It's fine. But yeah, it's true, Romina. Like drinking I know me personally, I get way more lovey-dovey and sentimental with a few drinks. I become the most wholesome version of myself. Speaking of which, it's time to refill. A class act and a catman. Is that Catman or Catman? I like Catman personally. I am a verified Catman and a pizzaman. Also a plantman. I just got 2 new plants. Welcome. I haven't named them yet. I just got them a couple days ago. But yeah, got a couple little pseudo succulents. They're beautiful. I got pots for them. I haven't put them in the pots yet. Trying to get a little oxygen around here because don't get a lot of ventilation in this shed. Oxygen is a genuine concern. I'm thinking, so this is a really small space, but it's pretty tall. I have a lot of vertical space. So that's the final frontier up there. I've been trying to think of like, how can I utilize that? And I thought, if I put some hooks, I could hang a lot of plants from the ceiling up there. And, make the place feel a little more alive. Probably my last one. Man, this margarita mix, I gotta say, it's very pure and healthy, but sour shit. There's not much sugar in there. A lot of lime. My tongue is burning up. Wait, who left? Who's leaving? Mariana, a lurker. Enjoy the river, Mariana. And cheers to the last hot day. Big fan of that. I personally, summer has never been my season. I enjoy it, but it always kind of feels like an ordeal to survive for me. The heat, the extreme heat, it impairs my lifestyle in a way that extreme cold doesn't. I actually kind of prefer fall and winter because, like, it's still pretty hot out here, but it's starting to come down. It was in the mid hundreds for the last, for most of July, and now it's finally started to come down into the 80s, and my body can regulate itself again. It doesn't sap all my energy out. And as it gets close to actual winter, like this whole summer, let me illustrate. So, like I haven't played a video game in weeks. I haven't done any indoor pleasure except for like the 20 minutes I give myself in the evening to watch like half of an episode of a TV show before I go to sleep. I've been doing this, building shit, trying to get, basic human comforts in my life. Trying to build a shower. Building electrical stuff. I showed all this at the beginning of the stream. Spent the last, couple of weeks installing electrical panels so that I can attach my generator, so I can survive the wildfires. It's all outside, like sweaty, dirty labor. And it's stuff that's been on my list for a long time. It's all pretty urgent. But it's not what I want to be doing. I mean, this is not, my life is not, I don't live for construction. I'm not like a DIY fiend. What I want to be doing is making art, you know? I'm a fucking writer. That's what I'm supposed to be doing out here. The whole reason I moved out here is to have downtime to like explore my inner life, my inner world, which then translates into, you know, art. Whether it's novels or just, you know, consuming the inner life, like watching movies, listening to music, playing video games, like whatever it may be. That's what I want to be doing. I'm tolerating the DIY life, but I don't want this to be my whole life, and it kind of has become my whole life. It's just like the wheelbarrow life, you know? That's not what I'm about. And when winter comes, it's like this permission slip from the universe. Like, hey, you can stop now. I remember the first year I came out here, I spent the whole summer building out the interior of this shed. You know, this shed was a empty box when I got it. It was literally, you know, just timbers, framing, had nothing inside. And I spent the whole first year putting in plumbing, putting in insulation, flooring, shelving, kitchen, sink, all built the bed frame, all the stuff that I built in there that whole summer. And then I think it was like early October, winter came early, and it was kind of like it started, the first snow hit, and I was putting the final touches on the inside. I was putting the trim boards on the interior, and the snow started to come down, and I was just like, oh God, I'm free. It's over. I packed up my tools, put all my tools down there in the trailer, and I went back into my, you know, still very much unfinished shed, and I was like, it's over. Whether I like it or not, it's what's done is done, and now I get to go inside. Now I get to sit at my computer and like go inward guilt-free. I get to explore my mind. I get to think about things. I get to, you know, give myself time to wander that internal space. Whereas like right now, I wake up and I get my coffee, I sit at my computer, and I'm like, okay, if I'm up at 6 a.m., I'll give myself till 7:30 to write, to be a writer, to make art. Hack away at, you know, whatever the project is for an hour or two. And I'm like, well, the sun's coming up, got to go outside and get back to work. Get back to the bricks and pickaxes and smashers and sledgehammers and gravel and so on. And that's what I do for the rest of the day. And it is what it is. Like it's toward an ultimate goal, and I feel like I'm getting close. In fact, the shower is really the last of it. Like when this is done, this shed phase is over, and then I'm actually free. And I'm pretty sure I will have wrapped all of that up before this winter. So this is really like my last summer of this DIY life, which is a pretty exciting thought. I cannot wait to get back to my old life of just like being a writer. I feel like I've not really been a writer for a long time. That era of my life where that's all I did, that's all I had to do anyway, was write. That feels like a fantasy to me now. I used to just, that was my whole job, was to get up, clock in, and, you know, hammer out a chapter of the Warm Bodies series. That was my job. go on a road trip or something, like figure out ideas, come back, write them. There was nothing else going on, and that was crazy. Like, looking back on that, I cannot believe what a privilege that was. Now it's, it's what I was. Now I'm back to where I was before that, where it was like working full time and trying to squeeze in the writing into the margins. And now I'm kind of back to that one. I'm working full time on my home as opposed to a job, but still squeezing it into the margins. And God, I can't wait to get back to at least like part time. Yeah, now it's, I'm not a writer. I'm a shower builder. There's my bestseller right there. This thing, I'm honestly so excited about this. Like I stressed about this for so long, trying to figure out, like, how do I get this thing to be square? How do I get, a three-dimensional cube to line up perfectly with the wall while being sunk into the ground with concrete? It's just like all these unknowns scared the shit out of me. And I somehow figured it out and got it together, and it's all true and square. And it's going to be so nice to walk out here. So you can see a little bit of my plan here. I have this little patio. This whole thing's going to be full of gravel. And then I've got like the little resting spot. I'm going to put hooks in these boards to put like a towel and to put the clothes on. Although, like, when I take a shower out here, I'll just take my clothes off inside and come out. But if I ever have guests, they can strip out here and hang their clothes on the hooks. And there'll be little shelves for like the shampoo and stuff. And then there'll be a little footpath of these bricks, which I'm going to sink into the ground, so I can walk back and forth without, getting gravel all over my feet. This is the idea. Little stepping stones to get to and fro. And so, like, in the wintertime, I'll come out here. I'll come out, turn the water on, get it hot, then probably come back inside, take my clothes off, get my towel, run out here through the snow and ice, take shelter inside in the hot water. Oh, yes. I'll shut the door. There'll be a door here. Lock myself in, be protected. This will still be open, but the wind will be blocked, and I'll be under hot water and dry myself. And then when I'm done, I'll grab my towel, maybe dry off a little bit, and then run screaming back into the house. That's the plan. Okay, I'm scanning back to the chats that I missed. Well, yeah, tiny house. This whole experience of living out here, I don't know exactly how it's going to factor into my future books, but I know it will. I have one story idea that is very literally based on this experience, and I don't know. I have to figure out how to do the story in a way that's not like overtly a Fallout clone, because the premise is sort of like the idea of somebody, kind of emerging from the vault, so to speak, into a very changed post-apocalyptic world. I've thought about, me being out here. I kind of feel like that in a way. Like I'm very disconnected from the news. I don't really keep up with what's going on. And I thought about how if I lived out here and I didn't have the internet, I could easily let 5 years go by and have no idea what was going on in the world. And at the rate of change that things are happening now, I feel like it's actually plausible that you could have kind of a post-apocalyptic scenario could just happen without an apocalypse, just by the exponential increase in change, to the point where if you isolated yourself completely for, say, 5 years, and then you come down off the hill back into the world, like, it could be completely unrecognizable. So I've always been so fascinated by I feel like the core concept of most of the main Fallout games is like the idea of like uh coming out of the vault. I mean, there's like New Vegas doesn't have a vault, but it has kind of a similar thing where you get sort of brain damage or something, whatever it is. And but you come into the world and you have to learn about the world as if you've never been there before. And that idea is always like I loved, particularly the Fallout 4 version of that, where you're like literally transported through time. You wake up 200 years later, and then like just the fish out of water of it, being a stranger in a strange land, of like trying to figure out like what is this world, where did my world go, and what is this new world. That concept at its core is so rich to me. It's so uh, it's just so evocative, and it triggers so many things that I like to think about and feel. And I've been trying to figure out like how to do that concept without stepping on Fallout's toes, because it's kind of like it's very much Fallout's territory. And yeah, other stories have done it, but I don't know, it's tricky. So yeah, as far as like stories inspired by my lifestyle out here, I have one in mind, uh, and it was actually kind of inspired by my experience playing Fallout games, combined with my experience actually living Fallout games. But I haven't quite figured out my angle on it. It's probably a few books down the line. But yeah, it's something I've thought about for sure. Leave the World Behind, Badger. I didn't finish that. Um, I watched like the first 20 minutes of that movie, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" I was very confused by that whole moment. Like it popped out on Netflix, and everyone was talking about it all of a sudden, and I started watching it, and I was like, "It's produced by Obama? What the hell?" Like Barack Obama is the producer of this Netflix movie, and I started watching it. And it was like, is this like some kind of psyop? Like the writing of this is so bad. The dialogue is just bizarre and atrocious. And yet there's all these A-list stars in this movie. What is going on? And I just like had to turn it off because I felt like I was going crazy. It was just the weirdest thing. Like, why? How is this a mainstream release? Like, to this day, I don't really understand what was going on with that movie. I don't know what I think it. I have a general sense of what it was about. Some kind of like crash of society, but it was just so weird. Like the way that it started, like this whole scenario and the way that the people reacted to things was like, this is not based in any reality that I recognize, and I'm just really uncomfortable. I don't know what to make of it. The fact that combined with it being produced by the Obamas was just like, this is weird. Like I don't know what. I've never heard of like a president producing a film before, and the fact that it combined that with how weird it was just like this is something going on here. I don't know what this is about. Stephen King's latest short stories? You mean you like it darker? I just finished that collection. I wasn't aware of a Cormac McCarthy fanfic. That just came out this year. That's got to be his most recent, right? What story was a Cormac McCarthy inspired on that one? I don't recall any of them being related to him. I remember how some of the stories would end with like thinking of this person or that person. I love what a good time Wyatt is having here. All the drunk people are having the best night. And me too. I mean, I I would get way drunker, except it's a little bit unnerving feeling to like lose control, like completely self abandon while broadcasting myself to the world. Like it's very different from being at a bar with friends and being like, "Fuck it, let's go." But this is like this will be here tomorrow. You know, everything I say right now will show up in my videos tomorrow for posterity. So I have to like keep it reasonably under control. Not to say that I don't get a little sloppy, as you can see. So Ramina's latest video, I believe the title is something like "You're a millionaire, but you're still not happy." And I haven't watched it yet, but I feel like I'm sure everybody says this, but I feel like I could be pretty happy if I was a millionaire. I feel like I have the tools necessary to be happy. Most of the things that take happiness away from my life are related to just like difficulties in survival. I just want to be left alone by the machine. If I were wealthy or even like comfortable, all the obstacles would be gone and I would just be free to like I don't know. I mean, I should probably watch your video before I rebuttal to it, but but yeah, I'm not a millionaire, and I don't know. I guess I actually am pretty happy overall, especially when I have margarita. Lovecraft fanfic. I don't remember which story was this, Traveling Jack. I don't recall anything Lovecraftian in that collection. Very true, Amina. Pizza and margarita is really peak living. I've been looking forward to this all week. I have to be honest, like these streams are the only time in my week when I get the permission, the self permission to like cut loose and have fun. Most of my life right now is pretty damn disciplined, and it's just what it needs to be for where I'm at. And I don't have a lot of openings to like release that discipline because it's just like there's nowhere to go, there's nothing to do, and this stream when I started doing this, it was kind of like an epiphany moment. It's like, oh, this could be great for my life because now you know it's small. It's like one day a week, one evening, one or two drinks, um, but it gives me kind of a opportunity, a permission to take a break to enjoy, just like basic pleasure without being thinking about like, well, it's what's happening tomorrow. Do I need to focus? Do I need to perform? It's yeah, I don't have a lot of that in my life these days. It's all pretty regimented. I've never caught one of your streams, Romina. It must have been a while since you did those. Maybe we could co-stream sometime. Talk about life lessons. Yeah, Traveling Jack. The only Cormac McCarthy. Uh, I loved The Road. That's the only book of his that I've read completely. I took a stab at All the Pretty Horses, and I couldn't get into it. Um, and most of the rest of his catalog just doesn't really interest me that much because it's just sort of like real life shit, you know, modern Western kind of stuff. And I tend to need a little bit of something weird in my fiction to get me interested. The Road was, pretty far in left field for his catalog being like post-apocalyptic thing, and I thought that book was so beautiful. But but yeah, the rest of like the cowboy stuff uh, didn't do that much for me. I did like the movie of No Country for Old Men. Didn't feel compelled to seek out the book, but yeah, his writing style is pretty epic. It's like, and it's biblical. It's um yeah, the last line from The Road is something I've thought about getting tattooed for a long time because it's so beautiful to me. But it really depends on the context of the whole book. It is super depressing, Romina, but it at the very very last moment, like the last page, it kind of ties it all together into this most poignant, beautiful way. The last little comment about the fish in the river is just so beautiful. God, what he's doing these days. Still alive, right? I think The Road was his most recent book, and that was like 2015 or something that came out. I don't know. It was a long time ago. I think he wrote some TV. He got sucked into that TV zone. Oh, he did pass away. That's right. I remember that. That was pretty recently, right? Like a couple years ago. 23. Okay, yeah. I remember that now. So he's not up to much these days. Whoops. Man, the guy just like lazy. He's just like not producing. He had a good run though. It I used to think about him like as I do my weird wanderings through the internet. I had a thought once like what if Cormac McCarthy was just like on YouTube like commenting on videos all the time. And, has a different username so you'd never know it was him. But like what if, Bullshit Master 245 was actually Cormac McCarthy and he's just like commenting on memes because that's what I do. Not that I'm in the league of Cormac McCarthy, but like there's no there's no guarantee that Cormac McCarthy never commented on YouTube videos. So somewhere out there could be like just shit talking on YouTube from Cormac McCarthy that no one will ever know it was him. And that thought just really made me chuckle. And like respectable authors in general, because like I'm not respectable, but I feel like there's nothing. drastically separating me from authors who are respectable. And I do all sorts of internet bullshit. So it stands to reason that like legitimate authors who people think are gods, who are like in the literary establishment, could very well be like posting comments on Instagram memes, and you just don't know. And the thought of that just really tickles me. Cormac McCarthy, I guess, came to me as the perfect example because I'm like, everyone thinks of this guy as, you know, this like mythical cowboy who probably like doesn't even have internet access and lives in a castle somewhere out in Texas. But oftentimes the images we have of authors are wildly inaccurate, and he could be just like a dude, you know, just some regular guy who, you know, has a very elevated writing style, but in his day-to-day life he's just like some guy, you know. No one knows what he's really like in real life. So he could be a shit poster, just like me. Wow, another little tip from Cat Respecter. That's a great username. I'm gonna heart that. Wait, where'd it go? Heart and like. Found you from the cat video, stayed because of interesting content. Also, the U.S. is lying about respected comrade Kim Jong-un and the DPRK. Whoa, okay. That took an unexpected turn at the end. Please tell me more, Cat Respecter. Tell me more about respected comrade Kim Jong-un and the DPRK. I don't doubt that the U.S. is lying about just everything. That would not surprise me at all. But I would love to hear some insider information here. I mean, this is the price. This is the cost. This is my rate for political propaganda. $4.99. For $4.99, you can express any political propaganda you choose. No censorship, no editorializing, just raw, unvarnished, your truth for $4.99. I mean, yeah, if bots pay me, bring on the bots, guys. I'm welcome. I'm a bot-friendly zone for paying bots. That's really interesting. Do you think that was a bot? I've never heard of a bot donating money before. But wait a second. I want to go back to that comment. Was there anything specific to me in there? Oh, there totally was. Yeah. I don't think that's a bot. That person actually watched my video. Because there's no way that they would mention the cat video if it wasn't a real person. So that was a real person who gave me $5 and used the platform to comment about North Korea. So I'm not seeing any follow-up comment from them, which suggests that they've moved on to another channel already. But or maybe it was a joke. Maybe that's like Gen Alpha humor. Like that could be some like next level meme that I haven't heard about yet of, you know, doing fake Korean propaganda. But that's really interesting. I'd like to see more of that. Bring on all the North Korean propaganda that pays me. Good night, Luke. Thanks for bringing the party energy to this stream. Ooh, my battery's about to die. But I'm still having fun, so I'm just going to plug in. Unfortunately, that means I have to lose the mic because it goes into the same port. So you guys can tell me how does the sound change as I unplug the mic here? Blah 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 blah. Unplugging now. Testing, testing. Blah 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 blah. What do you think? Worse or better? Last time I took my mic away, people said it actually sounded better with the built-in mic, and that was very disappointing. So louder but tinier. Interesting. This damn cord doesn't fit in the... How's the charger working? There we go. Okay. Mic is crisp. No change. More trouble without mic. Sounds fine. Man, okay. So, opinions are mixed. Sounds like the iPhone mic is tinier, but louder. I have that mic, Kaylin. It's right there. But I can't really use that for live streams because I gotta stay mobile. Gotta walk around. I don't want to just sit here at my desk the entire time. I feel like much of the appeal of this stream is the landscape that I live in. So if I were to just sit here and, sit in my room, this is like one of the few advantages that I have. Like most people who are YouTubers, streamers, etc. They're young, cool, and or attractive. They know, they're part of the youth, and they're charismatic in a youthful way, and I can't do any of that because I'm outside of the demographic. The one thing that I do have that the average streamer does not have is that my life is very different. I live in a radically different place. So whereas, most of the popular streamer type people are, basically in their basement, so to speak. They never leave their desk. They're in front of their, RGB lighting and a little studio mic for the entire time, no matter what they're posting. I have the rare advantage of being able to walk outside my door into a beautiful environment that is radically different from most of the places that you see on YouTube and or Twitch or any other platform. Because let's face it, the vast majority of people who do internet shit like this are city people, and they don't have anything to show off outside. They walk outside their apartment. They're in the middle of downtown New York or something. So I'm in an unusual environment, and I feel like if I'm going to do this kind of stuff, I should take advantage of that and let people experience the life that I live out here, even though right now I'm anchored because my phone is dying, so I can't go outside. But, as much as possible, I want to wander outside and show you guys, let you guys into the environment that I get to enjoy every day. So yeah, that's why I don't do the nice studio mic when I stream. I do that when I record videos. Actually, that's not even the mic that I use for my real videos. That mic is for interviews mostly. And like if I do I use that sometimes for my work with when I worked with that video game company. I would do meetings with them sometimes, but more and more I wouldn't use it because it's a hassle to set up and they didn't care. But and if I make like a Instagram reel or something, I can plug that into my phone and get good quality audio. But for my actual videos, I use this guy. That's my real mic. That's the mic that everybody always asks about. Get a lot of comments on my videos saying like, "Oh man, what mic do you use? It sounds great." It's CAD is the brand. EK something or other. It's a defunct mic. They don't make it anymore, so you can't buy it. There's a new version of it that's probably even better. CMYK streaming. Wow, now that's impressive. You stream in print colors. That's the wave of the future. My Insta is my name, Isaac Marion. There's a link to it on my YouTube channel, I believe. Pretty much the only other platform I use these days. I do have a TikTok also, but I pretty much abandoned it. I don't think I've posted there in the last 4 or 5 posts. I just I got tired of the vibe over there. It's like Instagram, but inhuman is how I feel about TikTok. It does everything that Instagram does, but it somehow like doesn't have any social aspect to it. Like nobody talks or interacts on it, which is just like, what is this for? It's just pure media consumption without any human element. So I got tired of even bothering with it. So YouTube and Instagram, that's it. Narrowing it down. We're talking tribbles? What is there to say? What really can be said about tribbles in 2024? They're small, they're furry, they multiply. Enough said. Drinking tea every day? Was there anything else to it? Was that the whole premise? Just you drinking tea? What was the idea behind that? TikTok was a weird experience for me. I started my account last year, I think. And so I've been on Instagram since like 2009 or something. Like pretty much since it was started. Like way back when it was literally just photos that you had to post inside the app and that was it. People don't even remember that Instagram used to be like you could not post outside content on Instagram. You literally had to take a picture with the app, and so there was no way to post a picture that wasn't yours. Can you imagine? Can you imagine using Instagram where there was no reposted content and it was all just the actual person? I miss those days, honestly. Like, if I could purge Instagram from all of the entertainment content, all the memes, the reposts, the just like television, and bring it back to just actual people posting things from their lives, that's where I want to be. I would be happy with the app if we could go back to that. But yeah, that's what it was back then. So I was on there since then, and in the entire time that I was on Instagram, including like during Warm Bodies, having, a number 5 New York Times best-selling novel, number 1 movie, all that stuff, the golden era. And in that entire time, I amassed like 7,000 followers on Instagram. And this was like 12 years of high intensity visibility. And then I got on TikTok and I posted like one video of me just saying, "Hey, I'm Isaac Marion. I wrote Warm Bodies." Blah blah blah. And like within a couple weeks, I had more followers than I did on Instagram. It just like blew up abruptly. And every time I post anything Warm Bodies related, I get massive traffic on it. Anything not Warm Bodies related, nothing. So like their algorithm is effective, but it like only cares about hot topics, and anything else outside of that topic is just like complete dead space. And on top of that, there's something about TikTok that's weird with it, just like people don't engage. You get tons of followers, you get tons of likes, reposts, whatever it is, but people don't comment. They hardly ever comment, and they never DM. Even when you do stories, like there's no DMs on TikTok. On Instagram, every time I post anything on Instagram, it's like I return to the surface of the sea, and all my friends and like people who I want to interact with see me on there, and they chime in, and we have a laugh, and all that like good social activity goes down. It's like social media. TikTok, it, for some reason, just like doesn't do that, and it was really weird to me. I'm like, why am I even bothering? Like I'm posting all this stuff, and it gets numbers, like the views go up, the numbers go up, but like are there really people here? Like nobody is talking to me. Nobody is saying anything about this post. They're just silently consuming it. And it was just like really weird to me. I'm like, this is not fulfilling. I don't enjoy this. So yeah, I don't really, my TikTok's basically dead. I don't think I'll, like, I guess theoretically I could just double post, but I can't bring myself to do it. You said nothing. Your T stream was silent, and it so you a lot of people tuned into this. Like you got a lot of views. That's very experimental. I mean, I guess the sound of sipping tea is pretty satisfying in an ASMR way. I'm trying to decode this message from Tiny House. I think it's a lot of content succubus. Well, tell me about the content succubus. I can't figure out if that was a typo or something really deep. Oh, it's so sour. I gotta get some legitimate margarita mix. This is just like drinking pure lime juice. I thought you logged off, Natasha. I heard a goodbye a while ago. Maybe I confused you with someone else for a minute. Some people say goodbye when they leave. Some people just leave. I myself am kind of, what is that, the Irish exit, where you just walk out and don't say goodbye to anybody. That's kind of my style these days. I used to feel a pressure to you know, make the rounds, go around to everybody. Hey, it's good to see you, and like hug every 15 people, and it's just like this big ordeal. And these days, I'm just like, if I happen to find myself at a gathering, at a party, function, uh, if I'm done, I'm done. I'm just gonna slip out the back, and no one will know or care. So same mentality for me for streaming. When I join a live stream, I usually never comment to begin with, but if I do, I just log off silently. Now that you're talking about this content succubus, I kind of want to check my TikTok. I haven't literally not opened the app in probably 2 months. Kind of, I wonder if anything has happened while I was gone. Maybe there's a bunch of really urgent, like life-changing career opportunities waiting in my inbox. That never happens, by the way. Not on TikTok. It happens on Instagram. Instagram is where every single one of my product reviews that I've done so far has come to me via Instagram. People will just message me like, "Hey, um, would you like our waterproof socks?" And I'm like, "Sure, why not? Send them to me." Um, nothing like valuable ever happens on TikTok. It's just empty numbers. I don't understand it. I feel like the followers on TikTok also have less value. Like it's really easy to get a lot of followers, but they don't mean anything. Like they don't really engage. I don't know. It's strange because it's so similar to Instagram. It's like almost the same app, but there's just these weird subtle differences that are like something doesn't add up here. Like there's just an absence at the core of it that bothers me. Like if there were a way to automatically repost my Instagrams to TikTok, I would do it because sure, why not? But you have to redo it every time because you have to like change the captions and all that stuff. TikTok sucks, right, Bob? All my cats hate TikTok. I love it when Bob makes like appearances with perfect comic timing. Guys, I'm only continuing because you're still here. Like I've been going for what is this? 193 minutes? So like 2.5 hours? And I'm just waiting for the audience to disappear so I can quit. But like if you're still here, I don't have anything else to do tonight. I have no choice but to continue streaming and to continue drinking. Cause I can't stream without drinking. They're one and the same. Streaming down my throat. I probably should rephrase that. Forget I said that. It's not sleep time is the thing. Like it's 8:30. It's 8:20 for me right now. Um and every minute that I spend here, it contributes. Actually, speaking of which, been meaning to ask you, um, are you seeing ads on this stream? Because like a live stream can be monetized, but I don't understand. I've never heard anybody mention ads. So you're not seeing ads. That's weird. Like a live stream is monetized, but you don't see ads. That's like kind of the best of both worlds. So I'm probably getting like 20 times the amount of like watch hours on this live stream than I do from the videos that I spend weeks crafting. And you're not seeing any ads, and I'm getting like way more view time. I guess there's a reason that people get into the habit of live streaming regularly because it's way easier than actually making a video. But other than my product posts, oh, so you do get an ad when you start the stream, but they don't pop up in the middle of it. That's interesting. I wondered because like I've been going 2.5 hours. I would think they would have inserted some random ads in the middle of it. But I remember when I used to do TikTok, people were always complaining about the ads. Like I'd be talking and then suddenly people in the chat would be like, "Can't hear you, there's an ad." And it would happen, every 2 or 3 minutes. And it was very confusing as a streamer, like, should I stop talking till the ads are over? But it was different for every viewer, so you really couldn't compensate for it. Yeah, when I did Twitch, most of the people who tuned in regularly did the premium thing or the subscription thing, so they skipped the ads, which was awesome. Like, I had a nice little run on Twitch. I had, a little handful of subscribers, and it was kind of it was a fun little community and like a little, I don't know if I call it an income, but it was a nice little bonus every month. And only reason I stopped was because I moved out here and lost my internet access. I did try it again recently out here on Starlink, and it didn't work. It was just way too laggy. But there's a potential for trying it again. I have a few tricks up my sleeve to get the speed up. I still play games. Like I always thought about Twitch as like, well, if I'm gonna play the games, like why not stream it? Like I'm already doing it. I'm already wasting my time. Why not waste it publicly? And just invite people to join the silliness with me. But I need to be able to get it. I need to get it like solid before I dive back into that. I've upgraded some things. Like I've got an Ethernet port now, so I'm not on Wi-Fi anymore. And I now have the PC given to me by Bet Her to Game, which is not active yet, but it's down there waiting to play games on someday when I figure out what parts it's missing. And it's possible that if I'm running the game on a different computer and I stream on my main computer, that it might work. So I still look forward to trying that because I did have a lot of fun. YouTube Live for gaming, that would be pretty rough. Just a camera of the screen, like a big warped, like a fisheye lens view of me playing the game. How could we do that? How would that look? Like what? Like this? Just right up in there. I do have a wide angle lens that I could stick on here. By the way, guys, since I'm got my Discord up here, here's the Discord for my Patreon. Lively, as you can see. And also this video, this is the game that I'm writing for right now. They just made this video. Well, there's an ad. They just released this video that I wrote for them, which is kind of like a little bit of a lore introduction for one of the characters in this game. This game is like very light. It's kind of like a cartoon game. It's not serious literature. But
the bizaar is a rabid beast.
But I did write for it. And there's like a legitimate actor doing the narration here. which is pretty cool to see. Beautiful music too.
Sphinxians are known across the galaxy for their keen minds and agile bodies. But Nufu is a legend even among them. I do not teach violence. I teach mastery over it. Nufu came to the bazaar long ago, when it was merely a frontier settlement. Drawn by the mysterious energies he sensed within the land, he built his simple dojo near the river and watched the city spring up around him. This world is...
Yeah, it's the game is like, it's a card game basically. So it's not story driven. But as far as like a kind of a day job, it's true. I did just kind of demonstrate it. No, I could do that. You're not wrong, Kaylin, but it would just be pretty ugly. I mean, like, to capture me and the screen. I mean, how would that even? It's probably doable, but it would be pretty rough. I'd like to try to get Twitch to actually function before I would try something like that. But yeah, the game, it's like, it's something that's pretty niche. Like, I don't know how many of you would have any. I personally, it's not the type of game that I would play. It's kind of like a, I don't know, like a Magic the Gathering kind of genre, maybe. It's called the Bizaar. It's not out yet. It's coming out, I think, in October. But I wrote all of the dialogue in it, which is basically, you know, these random lines that characters say when you're fighting them, or merchants, you know, when you're talking to merchants, and kind of like, I don't really know what to compare it to because it's a genre that I'm not very familiar with. But it's it could be like Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm not sure. Hearthstone is the game that's compared to most often. Hearthstone or Hearthstone. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that. It's that genre. It's like a strategy card game. But it has all these characters, like the heroes, the merchants, the monsters, the villains you fight and stuff, and all of that is what I wrote for them. And then I also kind of created like the world, or at least I developed the world. They had kind of a basic idea in place already, and then I came in and wrote like a world building Bible for them. And it's not really a story driven game, but I'm doing whatever I can to squeeze story into it as much as possible. There's not a lot of room for story in a game like this because like there's no scenes, there's no like cut scenes or character interactions really. It's just like combat and strategy and such. But I've been making the best of it and kind of enjoying the weird setting of it. And the deeper they get into it, like I've seen videos like this, it's kind of exciting to me because, you know, they're trying to make it feel like a place, like a world. And it's a very lighthearted world. It's kind of cartoonish, which is not something that I'm normally into. Well, I'm not into it, but I am embracing it for the sake of this job. And now that it's starting to get closer to coming out and they're starting to post these videos, it's kind of exciting for me. Like the guy narrating that video that I just showed you, he's like a TV actor. He's been in a couple major, I think he was in The Wire or something. He's like a legitimate actor, and like they have some legitimate actors and working on this game. It's very cool feeling for me to you know, write these scripts for them and hear actors perform it. It's like, this hasn't happened to me since 2013. Kind of takes me back to that moment when I walked on the Warm Bodies set and watched Nicholas Hoult like performing my character. It's like, holy shit, this is really happening. So it's been a while, and this is not quite the same caliber as that, but gives me a similar feeling. Well, Cat Respecter is back with another $5 Korean propaganda. On CCN A-Watch archives, you can view the entire day's television broadcast of the previous day, including cartoons. This is such a weird phenomenon. Like, I'm pretty sure this is not a real person, but they're giving me money. It's like, this must be a way to do advertising. I guess for $5, that's a pretty cheap ad. Did they realize that they're only showing it to 34 people? I don't know if that's worth their budget, if they can see the analytics for it, but I'll take it. Don't mind if I do. Maybe they've done the math. I don't know. Like, maybe that actually is a good deal for them. I guess it's not just the people watching now. It's also the people who watch later. So it has a shelf life. Look at this, you guys. Look where I live. I like that idea, Badger. Oh, and here's Bob harassing some kind of beetle. Bob, leave the beetles alone. Bob loves harassing bugs. They're like the easy prey for him. Well, I, for one, fully support North Korea as long as they keep paying me $4.99 for every propaganda post. I have nothing but positive things to say about our dear leader, as long as he keeps funding my live streams. Mr. Jong-un himself paid for that, I assume. North Korea paid for this drink, you guys. This is my new sponsored post. I am literally being sponsored by North Korea right now. That is a trippy feeling. I feel like I've arrived as a YouTuber when I've made $10 tonight from North Korean propaganda. What am I going to spend this money on? I feel like it has to be a special occasion, like an extra large Baja Blast or something. Next time I spend $10, I'm going to think about this. Like, this is not my money. This is Kim Jong-un's money. What a strange state of affairs I find myself in. Time for another drink. Holy shit. Guys, like, I drank half of this bottle tonight. I didn't expect that. It has been a few hours, but just a little trickle more. That's all. Just a trickle. Wait, what the fuck? How'd that get so full? Weird. It doesn't taste like tequila. How did we get here indeed? Are you drunk too? Just wasting my time? Tell me at least one other person in the chat is drunk, because our two resident drunks, Wyatt and Luke, both abandoned me. And now it's just me out here. Oh yes, more North Korean money. This is wild, you guys. I'm gonna fully support these ads. I'm gonna read them out to you. YouTube, the documentary of a U.S. soldier defected to the DPRK, James Dresnock, had 2 sons. He lived to be 75 years old. He liked to bowl in Pyongyang. There it is. You heard it here first, guys. James Dresnock liked to bowl in Pyongyang. This is the truth. I'm here to tell the truth of the world that we live in, not to filter it through liberal bias, not to repeat U.S. capitalist talking points about the North Korean Empire. I have an open mind. I believe in free speech. And I fully support any political opinions that express themselves through my channel via money that is sent to me. I feel like it's important to have principles in this area, and I've expressed my principles to you tonight. So, respect to the DPRK for $4.99. I am a fan. This is crazy. $15 now. I could buy a compact disc of my favorite band 20 years ago for the amount that the DPRK has given me this night. This is the funniest thing that's happened to me in a long time. I gotta keep streaming to see what else happens now. Like, what? Why? Are they doing this to other streamers? What's going on? Is there something about me personally that's like, this guy is fertile ground for our propaganda to take root? Yes, exactly, Badger. Or no, Tiny House. Free speech costs money. It costs $4.99. That is the price of free speech on this channel. Express a wide diversity of opinions, political diversity of thought, diversity of political ideology. I want to see all of that flourish on my channel as long as it's paid for $4.99 for each expression of said diversity. This is my worldview. Honestly, though, like $4.99, I mean, Kim Jong-un is probably like doing pretty well for himself. I feel like if you're the supreme leader of an entire nation, you can probably afford like $6.99, maybe $7.99 for each propaganda post. Like for $4.99, I might have ignored that. I mean, like if I were a more established streamer, I might have just been like, "Hey, thanks, bro," and kept talking. It's only because I'm nobody that I take the time to properly showcase his propaganda. But like if you were to up the donation level to like say the low 3 figures, then you might get some serious attention from the host of this stream. I know you can afford it. I'm pretty sure you just like take all the money that you need from your citizens. So like you're good for it, man. Like you can do $7.99, I'm pretty sure. That's true. Yeah, I don't even get $4.99. I probably get like $3.99. Why should I compromise my values as an American to promote the North Korean utopia if you're not going to adequately compensate me for that for that, compromise? Dear leader, You need to step it up. This is, you've brought shame. You brought shame to your empire tonight, dear leader. $4.99. That's not glorious. There's nothing glorious about $4.99. Like, it's good, it's nice, but it's not glorious. Oh my God. This is the best thing that's ever happened on this stream. I gotta say. Come back. What was the name? What was the name? Cat Respecter? Also, by the way, that's an amazing username. Cat Respecter. I mean, I don't even know if I respect cats. I love cats, but do I respect them? Not sure. Where's my cat? I need to go find out if I respect him. Bob! Bob! Do I respect you? At the end of the... Oh, man. I don't know where it went. I don't know if I respect him. What if I don't respect him? What if I'm not a cat respecter? Am I disqualified from DPRK sponsorship if I don't respect cats? I don't know. I can't find him. I guess he doesn't respect me. No, he's not in the house. He was, but he left. I think. Unless he's under the bed. Nah, he's outside. This is his outside time of the night. He might have gone back in the trailer. I did leave the door open. Well, I guess we'll find out another day my level of respect. Pretty sure I do respect them, but I'm not sure. Wait, you saw him? Where? I didn't see him. Was he outside? You're messing with me, right? Nah, you're messing with me. He's out there in the storm somewhere. Guys, I can't take it anymore. Honestly, I'm too full of joy and delight for becoming a sponsored member of the DPRK. I'm so excited about that I don't know how to continue this stream. And since Bob is not here for me to like squeeze him and express my giddiness toward him, I feel like I need to go run around or something and turn off this phone. As much as I want to see if Cat Respecter returns for a fourth donation, I probably shouldn't push my luck. I don't know if Dear Leader appreciates my whimsical tone in this stream, my arguably unserious tone, and I don't want to upset him. because I've made, well, I was going to say $15, but it's $4.99. So $15 minus 3 cents. So $14.97 I've earned from the DPRK tonight, because they couldn't afford that last penny to make it an even 5. It had to be $4.99. So I made $14.97 from the goodwill of our dear leader tonight. And I really don't want to push my luck. I don't want to risk, seeming ungrateful in any way for that donation. So I feel like I should wrap this up, given that it's been 221 minutes. So yeah, I'm gonna go. But this was a lot of fun. Even without the donations from the North Korea, this was a really fun stream. Thank you all for joining me tonight. Thank you for giving me a good reason to have some fun, to cut loose a little, to stop working, to remember, the lighter side of life. Hopefully I don't get assassinated by DPRK gunmen. I don't think I said anything disrespectful tonight. My true belief is in my heart. Disregard whatever I said in my stream. And I hope you all have a good weekend, or whatever's left of it. Have a relaxing hangover Sunday, those of you who got wasted with me tonight. So, Marion out. Thank you all. Good night.